And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful morning this morning. We appreciate your patience as PJ and I were having a little conversation off the air with Miss MT, the unmatchable, the stupendous, the second to none Mary T. So showing her
Right.
some love. And as Papa Joe and I always do to show Mary some love, oh, just kidding. so with that being said, here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, happy to be here with you and happy to be here with our exclusive studio partner, Great Lakes Honda City. Folks, I say this all the time. I love my vehicles from Honda City. I've been getting them for over a decade, and my most recent purchase from Great Lakes Honda City is a 2025 Honda CR-V. They are sleek. They changed the front. It looks absolutely amazing. I want to put it in a video. Incredible car, and it has been great in the snow and great in the ice because we slide out here in central and upstate New York, and this car has been able to keep me safe in the worst winter that we've had in a lot of years here. I would venture to say a couple days ago we could probably call this thing a blizzard. So get over to Great Lakes Honda City, get yourself a vehicle that's not only sleek, not only exciting and has all the bells and whistles of different things that you like, but more than anything else, it's safe. So make sure you go over and get that today. I want to thank Honda in general, the company, because back in 1999, or pardon me, my mom got the car. It was in 1999 and then gave it over to me. But back in 2000 and I want to say it was like 2000, it's got to be like 2004, right? I was hit by a drunk driver and I could have been paralyzed. I could have been killed by this drunk driver in New York City. And the way that my car was built potentially saved my life. So I want to thank Honda for so much more than simply giving me a car that I like the way it looks and the way it drives. Thank you, Great Lakes Honda City, for all the work that you do. Head out there today. Let them know that DT sent you. And they're open Monday through Saturday for sales and service. You could find out more by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com is what's popping. You know it's Thursday, so it's PJ time. Look at PJ wearing that Wake Up Call shirt. You can go and get your Wake Up Call as well as Super Powered Pop, Comic Book Trails, Do Diz with Dan, and my overall Dan Tortora broadcast media gear by going to our merchandising website, and I will send you that link in the feed here today. Of course, we are up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. In hour number 2, we're going to have a special with Johnny Zamore. You don't want to miss a second of that, as he will chronicle his time playing with Indy 11, which is a USL championship team. Inside of the USL Championship League, that team, the Indy 11 squad, had a friendly match against the Chicago Fire Reserves, which are part of MLS Next Pro, and he got to work out with the professionals with an opportunity to have a professional career and another step toward that thanks to Stuart Flaherty. So you'll hear from Johnny Zamore and what he has to say about Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, how much he appreciates them, Mary Hawkins, Brooke Parro, Stuart Flaherty, his teammates, and more. Don't miss a moment of that coming up in the second hour of the broadcast. It will air as its own video. So with that being said, I got him right here on the screen here. We got PJ analyzing 2025 MLB moves going into this season. We are going to, as we do every year, get you ready for the entire Major League Baseball season because Papa Joe is a living, breathing, working encyclopedia. So we're going to start in the NL West. We're going to start with the reigning national champions. They call themselves world champions because it's a World Series, right? So the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have put together an insane team, and they just continue to add to that team. I don't know how the Dodgers have any money left. And you know what? I'll say this. If the Dodgers gave up all their salaries and gave it to California, California might actually, for the first time ever, balance their budget. How about that? So we have the Dodgers, we got the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, the Padres, and the Giants inside of the NL West. And I proudly unleash Papa Joe, but not before I say hello. PJ, how we doing?
Good morning, Daniel. That's a nice opening. I like that.
Yeah, well,
Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I am feeling a little bit better here. Got a little more pep in my step today. So PJ is here with us to break down and each of the teams. We're going to do it by division inside of Major League Baseball. We have 30 franchises to get through, and so I'm going to unleash PJ this morning on the NL West, and starting with the Dodgers. Fire when ready, PJ.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do
Yeah.
is just review on what the Dodgers did last year and who did what for them.
Yeah.
We know that they're the world champions. We know that Dave Roberts is the manager. We know that Andrew Friedman is the general manager. And Friedman's very interesting because he came from Tampa Bay, where he used to work miracles with no money over there. Now he's got a whole lot of money, and he's still doing a lot of good things. So let's talk about the first person we need to talk about is Ohtani, which is the two-time MVP, one in each league. He had 54 homers, 130 RBIs, and 59 stolen bases. How someone that big and that tall can steal 59 bases, it's amazing. He had 310, by the way. Yeah. Teo Hernandez, the guy who came from Seattle last year, he had 33 homers, 99 RBIs, hit 272. Freddie Freeman, one of my favorite players of all time, 22 homers, 89 RBIs, and hit 282. Will Smith, catcher for all seasons, he catches everyone. 20 homers, 75 RBIs, 248 average. And then Mookie Betts, who is really most valuable player every year in the conversation, should be with him. 19 homers, 75 RBIs, hit 289. Now he got hurt, and those are just a small sampling of him. If he has a regular year, he's MVP talk. Now let's talk about the pitchers. We had Tyler Glasgow, another kid from Tampa Bay, with 9-6, 3.49 ERA. Gavin Stone, tough guy, 11-5, 3.53 ERA. Yamamoto, one of their stars from Japan, 7-2 with a 3.00 ERA. Jack Flaherty, 6-2, 3.58 ERA. And Dan Hudson, 6-2, 3.00 ERA. He had 10 saves. Now, why there's not more saves than the Dodgers is because they beat someone so bad all the time that they don't need a guy to come in and save it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over what's happened since last year, over the winter, the hot stove lead up until now. And I think you'll be able to follow it okay. There are 3 free agents that are still on the team. Brent Honeywell, Joe Kelly, and Zach Logg. They haven't signed with Dodgers. They haven't signed with anyone else. So they're still floating around out there. They're minimal players. Not anyone is going to, like MT says, blow your skirt up. So it's not that exciting. But anyway, the notable acquisitions. Now this is something. I don't know. You're right. You asked a question earlier. How does the Dodgers do it? I mean, they have insurmountable monies. I mean, I don't know how they do it. Now with Friedman with a lot of money to work with, can really put a team together. Anyway, they just acquired Blake Snell, who was a Cy Young Award winner, 5-year deal from the Giants. Now we got Roki Sasaki, another kid from Japan. It's just a killer. He's signing bonus of $6.5 million. He's under 25 years old. He's got a 2.35 ERA last year over there with almost 11 Ks per 9 inning. Another incredible talent that somehow Friedman got. Yeah. We got Teo Hernandez, who played last year, re-signed with them for 3 years. Tanner Scott, a 4-year deal. And Tanner Scott came from where did Tanner Scott come from? Anyway, let's just keep moving. I don't want to waste any time. Now we got Clayton Kershaw, who is in his 18th season as a Dodger.
Yeah.
Don't know why they're signing him because really he's not effective anymore. He's probably good for a spot start every once in a while. He's certainly not going to relieve. It takes him 3 innings just to get going. I think it's a cheap deal, $7.5 million or something like that.
PJ, I want to hit you with this because you just mentioned Tanner Scott, and I want to make a note here for you so you got it. Baltimore Orioles, Miami Marlins, and the San Diego Padres is who he played for before the Dodgers.
Right. Thank you for that. Now we got Hyun Sung Kim, a 3-year deal, and boy, the value of that is $12.5 million. Super. They pull these guys out of their hats. We got Kirby Yates, a 1-year deal. Michael Conforto, a 1-year deal. These are minor players here. Yeah. Blake Trennan, who is not a marginal player. It's a good, solid starter. Signed for a 2-year deal. Kike Hernandez is back, I think, for the 3rd or 4th time with the Dodgers. The guy just keeps growing on him. And Giovanni Galagas is re-signed with them. The notable subtractions are Walker Buehler, who was the hero of the Dodgers last year in the World Series. Why, I don't understand. He signs with the Red Sox. Now, Walker Buehler has had some tough time with the last couple of years because he's had some surgeries. But you could see last year, at the end of the year, and during the playoffs, during the World Series, how valuable this guy was. Yeah. And I'm really surprised that Friedman didn't jump on this guy to keep him. But, maybe he wanted to do something different, which apparently he does. Jack Flaherty, one of their starters, signed with the Tigers. Jack Flaherty, another frontline pitcher, tough guy. And then we got Gavin Lux, who's a trade with the Reds. Gavin Lux is a utility player, sort of like Tommy Edmonds, all over the place. And Daniel, that's it in a nutshell. Before we start talking about some of the really important guys that I mentioned, the Dodgers it's a curt term, but they're loaded. I mean, yeah. I don't know how they can lose. I don't know. I think they'll wind up winning at least over 110 games. Yeah. Their starters are killers, and this is just the important guys. The little guys that really keep things going, I haven't talked about, and I'm not going to because they're not that important. But when you got Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Flaherty, no, not Flaherty, and this Suzuki kid, and Clayton Kershaw for a 5th or 6th starter. Yeah. You're looking at the pitchers are looking to go into 5 or 6 innings, and then you bring in your relievers to close the door. The Dodgers, I don't think are going to look back at all. I think they're going to jump out right away. I think they're going to start hot. I think they'll win early and often. And then by the time we get to the All-Star break, I probably think, at least the way I feel, I probably think that the pennant race is going to be over with.
Well, and it's crazy, and I appreciate you going through all this. I mean, when we look at the salaries for 2025, and we talk about how, and I'm kind of going through this and how it works out, because the whole mentality of what Shohei Ohtani was doing here, his deal and how much money it's worth and all that good stuff. But when we look at 2025, because they're talking about he'll take $1 million and this and that, when we look at the team future payrolls, the guys you mentioned, in 2025, Mookie Betts, $30.4 million. Yamamoto, $14.17 million. Shohei Ohtani, $28.22 million. Freddie Freeman, $27 million. Will Smith, $16 million. Blake Snell, $27.89 million. Tyler Glasnow, $32.5 million. Chris Taylor, $13 million. Tommy Edman, $8.4 million. Max Muncy, $14.5 million. I don't understand how you do that. I mean, I don't understand how you make all of that fit on a team. And the funny thing is the Dodgers used to play in Brooklyn, right? And there was a time where if all the teams had stayed, that we would have had New York Yankees, New York Mets, Brooklyn Dodgers, and we would have also had the New York Giants baseball team staying there. So we would have had 4 franchises. 2 of them moved to the West Coast. But with all due respect, the Los Angeles Dodgers moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. They got away from the Yankees, but they're kind of the new Yankees because people said the Yankees used to buy championships. And when you look at the payroll that the Dodgers have, I mean, PJ, they look like the new Yankees of baseball.
They're going to be very formidable. The second team I think that has the most payroll is the Boston Red Sox. And their owner, Mr. Cohen, said, or the Red Sox, they got the Red Sox and Mets have the second largest payroll. And the reason we talk about these teams all the time is because they have very good contracts with their local cable service. You know, pays them hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I don't know how that works, and there's got to be some kind of formula to it. But a guy like Friedman who can juggle players around and just seem to get the best out of everyone and learn to make the moves. He's always making a move before the season, during the season, before the All-Star break, and after the season during the hot stove leave. He's incredible managerial guy. I think, just to make you happy, I think I'm going to go into Arizona next, and I can do that at the same time. Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got anything more to say about the Dodgers?
And I mean, I'm available. So I mean, I guess it's pretty crazy to look at how much money they're spending. But you know, they got the money, like you said. You know, they got good TV deals. People want to see them. People want to come out to the games. People want to buy the jerseys. It's just crazy to think that Blake Snell is now on this team, and that, you know, you have Tyler Glasnow, you have Yamamoto, who we didn't see, you know, a ton of last season, so we're probably going to see more of him now. So in Shohei Ohtani, remember, like last year, he's having this tremendous year while he's rehabbing. And I made mention of this earlier in the week. He was rehabbing his body. He couldn't pitch because he had surgery, and he was going through rehab from that surgery. And during rehab, he's banging home runs and stealing bases and becoming an MVP. Like, this guy on his worst day is better than pretty much everybody that's playing baseball. And it's incredible to see what they've done. And I mean, come on now. Freddie Freeman was the star of the World Series. So we talk about all these guys, but Freddie Freeman was the one that lit it up. And when he hit that grand slam walk-off and he in game 1 of the World Series against the Yankees, I sat there with my dad and I said to myself, moments like this, because I watch sports for a long time and I get those feelings, I said, a moment like that, watching him hit that home run, I said, these are the things they put on the Sports Illustrated commercial when you win the World Series. I mean, it was game 1 and you already felt like they were going to win it. So, I mean, this team is outrageously stacked. Any of these guys could go somewhere and be the glory guy of that team. Anybody could go somewhere else and be the face of the franchise, but they've all decided to play together. And so kudos to the management of the Dodgers that they found guys that are superstars but are also willing to be out there on the line for each other. They seem to get along. So, I mean, they're going to be very formidable. They're going to be very tough to beat. And I just want to remind people that they won over 100 games a couple of years ago, and the Diamondbacks beat them and went to the World Series after sweeping them. So you never know what's going to happen, PJ, but they definitely have the resources and the talent to be a perennial World Series contender when we talk about the Dodgers.
One more thing before I get to the Diamondbacks with the Dodgers. Ohtani is scheduled to pitch this summer. He's not. He's pitching in the bullpen.
Yeah.
He's pitching off the mound. His velocity is not up to snuff, but he'll get there. And I think we'll probably see him, I would say maybe early May. I think we'll see him on the mound. So not only do you have Blake Snell and the rest of these guys, Yamamoto, you're going to put him on the mound every 5th or 6th day. That's going to move Kershaw probably to number 6. And maybe he'll start every 10 days or something like that. But if it's scary to think that if Ohtani is perhaps pitching in the way we know he can pitch and coming off the bad injury, it may be a season for us to remember. And I don't want to jinx the kids. I mean, I do think they're ultra talented, and there's no one other than the Mets, maybe the Red Sox, that the Yankees somewhat that can hang with them. So I'll go right into your team, Daniel, right away. And I'm sure you have a lot to talk about this, but the one thing that Arizona did to really prop themselves up this year was Corbin Burns was the best pitcher available other than Blake Snell in the free agent market. He pitched for Baltimore last year. We saw that. Baltimore made a great run. They just were a little bit too young to carry through with it. But he was their most valuable player, and he signed a $210 million deal with Arizona. So they're letting loose some of the purse strings. Well, let's talk about Arizona last year. Kellen Marte, one of your favorite players, hit 36 homers, 95 RBIs. He had 292. All-around good player.
Yeah.
Eduardo Suarez, 30 homers, 101 RBIs. He had 256. Clint Walker, 226 homers, 84 RBIs, 251 average. Corbin Carroll, another one of your guys, 22 homers, 74 RBIs, hit 231. You remember, right, Corbin Carroll was he was at the Mendoza line for a long, long, long time before he really kicked into it and got his average up there. By the way, he stole 35 bases last year, too. Then Lourdes Gurriel, who's a solid guy, 18 homers, 79 RBIs. He's hitting 279. Pitching, not one of the best staffs, but enough to get them going.
Yeah.
Zach Gallen certainly is the leader of that pitching staff. He was 14-6 with a 3.65 ERA. Brian Fedett, 11-10, 4.71 ERA. Rice Nelson, 10-6, 4.24 ERA. My main man, Jordan Montgomery, who I really slashed last year. I mean, I jumped all over his butt.
Yeah.
He was miserable. 8-7 with a 6.23 ERA. Paul Sewald was a closer, 1-2, 4.31 ERA, 16 saves. Now you look at that's their better pitchers.
Yeah.
The other ones that in the regular lineups, none of these guys have a good ERA, and Arizona had to somehow overcome the poor pitching and good timely hitting though, but poor pitching and somehow managed to stay within shouting distance of the Dodgers and came in second. So let's find out where they are now. As I noted earlier, Corbin Burns from Baltimore, 6-year deal, $210 million. This was a great move. And I knew this was coming because I read a lot about it.
Yeah.
And he's from Arizona. He lives there. He wants to go back there. His family wants to stay there. So this is a super, super win for Arizona. Josh Naylor, trade with the Guardians. Good, hard-nosed guy. Plays first base. Hits homers, hits RBIs.
Yeah.
Good all-around player. Randall Krishuk re-signed on a 1-year deal. And Kendall Graveman is a pitcher. He signed for a 1-year deal, too. Those are the acquisitions. Notable subtractions. Christian Walker, who leaves Arizona to goes to the Astros, which I think will really hurt them. Jock Pederson, another one of my favorite players from the Rangers. Used to be with the Dodgers, too, a couple years ago. Kevin Newman from the Angels goes to the Angels. Josh Bell to Nationals. Right-hand pitcher Saul Weehald, the Guardians. And Slade Caccini, trade from the Guardians. Yeah. None of these players, except for Walker, I think Walker and Pederson are probably going to be missed. Walker really played a hell of a year last year. He did it all. He hit for average. He hit for homers. He was a solid defensive player. And Arizona, I think, Daniel, it's unfortunate that they had to sign Burns, because if they didn't sign Burns, I guarantee you that Los Angeles probably would have somehow. That means their payroll is going to be $500 million a year, some ridiculous, stupid number. But Corbin Burns, I think, by himself is going to keep you in the pennant race until something happens with the Dodgers. Whether the pitching staff winds up with some bad arms or something like that.
Yeah. But
Dave Roberts is a smart guy with the Dodgers. He'll play his guys carefully and not quite so much. If you know Dave Roberts from last year, he substituted an awful lot. His starting pitchers did not go very long into the counts and into the games. Maybe 5 innings, top 5.5 innings, and then bring in a slew of relievers to win. So that's it for Arizona, and I really like their chances this year. It's unfortunate they got to go up against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and that's the thing about their division, right? The Giants have had their moments where they've been good in the division. The Padres spend a lot of money. The Rockies have been a troublesome franchise lately, and we'll see what they do this year. And the Dodgers have obviously been the darling of the NL West. But you mentioned some moves here. You mentioned the moves by the Arizona Diamondbacks and these transactions that they've had over time. And the transactions that they had as you're going through them, making mention of some of these guys, Josh Bell was a guy that they brought in last year to help him out, and because they had a little lull, they needed some hitting power, and so he was kind of just brought there for a little while, just for a moment. And so to see him leave, he was a rental, so to speak, and now he's gone. That's a notable thing that I look at when I look at some of the moves that have been here. I do want to make note here that on January 9th of this year, 2025, they agreed to terms with right-handed pitchers Zach Gallen, Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Thompson, left-handed pitchers Joe Mantiply, Kyle Nelson, as well as A.J. Puck, and a bunch of other guys. They also, Geraldo Perdomo is going to be sticking around here, so that deal has been agreed upon. So Perdomo is going to be extending his time in Arizona. But some of the guys that you mentioned of the moves that they had and players lost, when you bring up Bell, I think about the fact okay, they had him for not even a full season. So it's sad that it's oh, he's gone, but you keep going. The Christian Walker side of things is something that sticks to me, and it sticks to my mind, because Christian Walker was a guy that came in, and in the year a couple of years ago in 2023 when they made it to the World Series, and I got to go there to Arizona with my dad, go to the game, feel that environment. There was something to be said about the fact that Christian Walker, when guys had troublesome moments, when guys struggled hitting, Christian Walker was this guy that came out of nowhere. And for him to not be a Diamondback right now, that is something that kind of smarts, right? It hits me a certain type of way for someone who covers the Diamondbacks, watches the Diamondbacks closely. It's something that I'm frustrated to see that they're going to be without him as they step forward. Making some moves in pitching, you understand that things happen, and they gotta do what they have to do. Last year I said they needed 2 pitchers in the offseason. They went and got a couple pitchers in the offseason, but some of that didn't work out. And so, I'm definitely okay with some of these guys not being on the team anymore. But Christian Walker is the one that really sticks out to me, and that's the one where I'm going to miss him. It's going to be tough for me to kind of move forward here and seeing that he's not on the team anymore. Now, Jordan Montgomery, who they brought in and paid good money to after he, with the Texas Rangers, came into Game 3 that I was at the World Series in 2023. He came in that game, played well against the Diamondbacks. He didn't play well last season, which makes me believe that he's a sleeper cell for the Texas Rangers. I still believe that. But, seeing what he's been able to do in the past for Texas, you hope that maybe last season was just an off season. Maybe something was nagging him. Maybe he was trying to get comfortable, whatever it may be. But you hope that Jordan Montgomery is going to find his way, as he's been exercised the player option, and so he's going to be with the team in 2025. But like I said, did they lose a lot? Christian Walker's the one that hits with me. Bringing in Corbin Burns, bringing in another guy, another ace. You think about where all these players are. Zach Gallen has been the ace. Now with Burns coming in, he takes the 1. Zach Gallen takes the 2. And so, seeing this rotation now and seeing what it can be and the power that it has, I think the Diamondbacks maybe are underestimated at times with their rotation, and I'm okay if that happens. I think they've gained more respect over the years, but bringing in another pitcher, a needed pitcher, is a really good thing, and I'm excited to see that. Jerry said, any thoughts on the Phillies? Jerry, we're going division by division, so we will get to the Phillies within the next couple weeks here. PJ and I have to take a step aside for a fast break, and when we come back inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, we will continue on the conversation. We've given you the Dodgers, we've given you the Diamondbacks. PJ, where do you want to go after the break?
We'll go to Padres.
All right, so the San Diego Fathers the San Diego Padres will be taking over our airwaves here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Another team that spends a lot of money. By the way, on all of our social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram, I just put up the graphic of the actual payrolls for each team. The team that spends the most going into this season, the Dodgers, with just under $400 million. Close in, well, there's some distance behind them. The Mets, who spend a lot of money, the Mets are spending $68 million less. Then it's the Phillies, then it's the Yankees, then it's the Toronto Blue Jays. And for the Arizona Diamondbacks and the moves that they made, they stayed under $200 million. Look at that. Making moves and saving money. We'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll be back right after this. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York, to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There was a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience, it's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. the point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servamation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hanging out with you inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and hanging out with Papa Joe, PJ. Guess what? We have 4 feet more snow than Papa Joe does. So we are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. It is cold. It is snowy. It's icy. Please be safe. That's why I suggest you go to Great Lakes Honda City and do what I do and get a vehicle with all-wheel drive, because you need all those wheels when you're out here in central and upstate New York. PJ, it's time for us to jump into the San Diego Fathers, and I send it off to you.
One other thing before we get into the Fathers.
Yes.
One player I think that the Dona's really going to miss, other than Christian Walker, of course, is Josh Bell. Josh Bell is he's sort of like a hired gun. It's sort of like after the trade deadline in July, you sometimes go out and get a pitcher for the remaining part of the season, hopefully for the playoffs. Yeah. Josh Bell is a switch hitting first baseman, can hit anywhere, anytime for anyone, and he started out with Pittsburgh in 2016-20. Then he went to the Nationals for 21 and 22, the Padres for 22 after being traded, Cleveland for 23, Miami 23 and 24, Arizona 24 after being traded from the Marlins, Washington Nationals back now. This guy is a hired gun, and he's really, really going to be missed. Plus, he's an excellent first baseman. He's a big guy, 6'4", maybe 230, and really stretches it out a lot. So kudos to him. I look forward to watching him play. It's too bad you're not going to have him, though.
Yeah, he was, like I said, one of those guys that you had for a little while, got to see what he could do, and then before you know it, he's gone. He was just a guy that was brought in as like a rental for part of the year, and now he's no longer Diamondback. So sad, but wish Bell the best, wish Walker the best, and everybody else that's moving on from my Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm impartial as a broadcaster. I have a lot of respect for a bunch of teams out there and teams that I think could be very dangerous this year, including the Dodgers. But I'm happy to see that Corbin Burns is now with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now Zach Gallen's got a little pressure off of him, so there's some good stuff moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, it's time to go to the San Diego Padres, a team that doesn't shy away from spending the money as well. San Diego's got I was just out there, PJ. There, you got the Pacific Ocean, you got beauty all around you. There's all these areas where they can be building stuff and whatnot. San Diego, they got that money, and they're far enough away from Los Angeles to make you feel good when you go to California. But nothing wrong with LA. When you hear about the smog and you hear about the traffic and all the stuff in Los Angeles, I haven't been there, so I can't say how it would feel to be in LA. But San Diego, very nice, very exciting, really open roads, like 5-lane highway on each side, like an Autobahn. So bring me into San Diego, PJ. Do they have a good enough runway to make something of this season?
Oh yeah, they do. They have been loaded for 2 or 3 years. But then again, it's my point of pitching, and they do have better pitching. For some reason, they didn't mesh last year. They should have been right there with the Dodgers all the way through. But let's talk about what they did last year. Talk about their hitties. Manny Machado, who used to be with Baltimore. He is a perennial all-star. Hit 29 homers, 105 RBIs, and hit 275. Jackson Merrill almost won the Rookie of the Year, 24 homers, 90 RBIs, hit 292. Jurickson Profar used to be with the Rangers, hit 24 homers, 85 RBIs, 280 average. And Fernando Tatis, I love that name, 21 homers, 49 RBIs, 276 average. Came in late in the year because he got hurt over the winter and did really well for them. They love to win games 11-8 or 7-6 or something like that. But their pitching staff isn't so bad either. Dylan Cease, who was great for the White Sox for many years, 14-11, 3.47 ERA. Matt King, 13-9, 2.95 ERA. Yu Darvish, used to be with the Cubs, 7-3, 3.21 ERA. And Suarez, 9-3, 2.77 ERA. He had 36 saves. Now, if you put that pitching staff with Arizona, you beat the Dodgers. So the Padres are an enigma. Last year they just were so good, and they just didn't put it together. I don't know if it was the manager or something, but we have to give credit to Dave Roberts for the Dodgers. I mean, he may have a lot of players, and he's got a lot of egos on that team, but
yeah,
he does a great job in pacifying everyone and getting the best out of his players. But let's see what the Padres have done in the offseason. They only have one free agent, which is David Peralta. He hasn't signed with anyone yet, nor has he been re-signed by San Diego. Right-handed pitcher Nick Pivetta signs a 4-year deal. Catcher Elias Diaz re-signed with them on a 1-year deal. First baseman Connor Joe signed a 1-year deal. Outfielder Jason Hayward, 1-year deal. Used to be with the Dodgers for many years and with the Braves before that. And he's fallen on hard times. He's not playing very well at all the last 2 or 3 years, but he's a super player. Kyle Hart, left-handed pitcher, signed a 1-year deal. First baseman Yuli Gurriel reported MLB deal too. So those are the acquisitions. Some of the subtractions are tough to watch too. Tanner Scott, we talked about earlier before. He's going to the Dodgers. Jurickson Profar from the Braves. Now they lose him here. He's going to the Braves. Hai Sung Kim, shortstop from the Rays, to the Rays. Kyle Higashioka to the Rangers. Left-handed pitcher Martin Perez to the White Sox. Infielder Donovan Solano to the Mariners. They're built to win. They've made some good plays. They got some decent acquisitions. Nothing serious, but they have such a good hitting. The first 4 players on their team, if they put them in a lineup, the first 4 players, they can carry a team themselves. So with that being said, I offer comments on the Padres.
Yeah, and I like that. That felt like Congress. It's like, now that I've made my statement, I offer your thoughts. I open the floor to your thoughts. If only Congress could be so nice. So, yeah, I mean, when we look at the San Diego Padres going into this season, PJ, for me, I think, and like you said, I mean, the Padres have had they've had the talent. So, having the talent that they've had, you think to yourself, okay, how does this team not get it done? Like, how do they not I mean, when you look at who they brought in and this team that they've assembled over the years, how do they not put themselves in a position where they are, flying through here? Well, they ran into the Dodgers last year. They ran into the Dodgers more than once. and playing them during the season, obviously it's gonna put a lot in that division just to get out of that division. But we look at these guys that they have. I mean, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. I mean, Fernando's a guy that I look at, and that's a name that jumps out at me. This is a guy, I mean, Luis Arias, who they got from the Marlins, I believe. I mean, this team over time has provided the opportunity that you would imagine offensively to make some really substantial moves. So, I mean, do I think that this team is dangerous? Yes. Do I think that they can do some good things? Yes. But they're in the same division as the Dodgers. And that is something that concerns me when it comes to how far can they truly go. And that's really what it comes down to, PJ, for me. Is this team going to be a team that's going to get farther than the Dodgers? If the Dodgers win 100, are they going to win 101 or are they going to win 98? I think San Diego, if they were in another division, then they would be leading that division. They'd have a better path. But with the abilities that they have, the question comes down to, do they have enough to beat the Dodgers when push comes to shove? And so I'm going to send that question back to you in a second. Before I do that, I want to make known of something here, is that the Padres now have Jason Adam, and ironically, I was just listening to my interview with him. Jason Adam was a Tampa Bay Ray for the last few seasons, and I got to speak with him in the team facility after one of their games a couple seasons ago. So I want to give a shout out to Jason Adam, because I'm looking on the roster here, and while I'm talking, kind of going through this, and I'm like, Jason Adam? Is that the same one? And so it is. So, pitcher that was on the Tampa Bay Rays for a few seasons, Jason Adam, who was also on Wake Up Call, is now a San Diego Padre. So shout out, and big high hopes for you, Jason, except for on days when you play Arizona. But PJ, I'd love to get your thoughts on do the Padres, when you look at this, you mentioned their pitching, you spoke highly of their pitching. We know that they've spent money to bring in bats over these last few years, and they've had more money than I thought they had. So do they have enough? Did they make a move? Did they do something that makes you believe they can pass the Dodgers?
They don't need to move much.
Okay.
They got a solid pitching staff. They certainly have the hitters. Are you asking me if they can challenge the Dodgers? Yes. So can Arizona, too. But the Dodgers are another beast. I mean, very simply, they could win 100 games and come in third in their division. And the same with Arizona. So the proof is in the pudding. The Dodgers are a cut above anyone else in Major League Baseball, including the American League. So, let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Padres have an excellent team with excellent hitting and excellent pitching. They have a wonderful manager. They have a good situation out there. They have a good contract with their cable company that allows them to spend so much money. This is the conference that I really like to follow. Now, in saying that, MT has really stepped up for me again this year. She bought the the Major League Baseball package for me again. So all the teams on the West Coast that I never got to see last year because we didn't buy the package, I'm going to be able to see. And I want to see Arizona and San Francisco and San Diego and Los Angeles. I want to see them, and I want to see what they're built of. I want to see what couillons they have.
I love it. I have two questions, both for MT. One, will you give me the password? Two, if you don't give me the password, PJ, will you call me on video and hold it up to the television so I can watch the Diamondbacks? So that's the big question. That's the big question. But with that being said, we're going to take another step aside here. Fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We have given you 3 out of the 5 teams in the NL West as we prepare you for the entire 2025 Major League Baseball season here on Wake Up Call. I have an ace in the hole. I have my starting pitcher. I also have my home run hitter, and that's PJ. So, Papa Joe, what team are we going with next? What's the team after the break?
I got a good slider.
Yeah, you got a good slider? All right. What's the team after who do we got coming in after the break? PJ.
I got to get the Giants up here.
Yeah, we're going to do the Giants next?
Giants, yeah.
All right. So, PJ, we're going to go with the San Francisco Giants right after this fast break. PJ says he has a good slider. The only sliders I know are at restaurants. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, breaking down the entire NL West to get you set for the 2025 season. 2 teams to go. Giants first, Rockies after that.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We are previewing the entire Major League Baseball season on Wake Up Call. We're doing it with Papa Joe, and we are going division by division, starting in the National League and starting in the West. We've given you the Diamondbacks as well. Well, we gave you the Dodgers first, then the Diamondbacks, then the Padres. It's now time to bring you the San Francisco Giants, who used to be the New York Giants, and they're still a New York Giants. And I think if this baseball team played on the football field, they'd probably be better than the New York Football Giants.
No. Yeah, for sure.
So, PJ, I now hand it off to you for the San Francisco Giants.
Okay. Well, the Giants are nothing to sneeze at. They're just a mediocre team. Last year, Matt Chapman hit 27 homers, 78 RBIs, hit 247. He was their slugger. Heliot Ramos, 22 homers, 72 RBIs, 269 average. Michael Conforto hit 20 homers, 66 RBIs, and 237. We know he's with the Dodgers now. And Michael Yastrzemski from the famous Yastrzemski's annual Boston, 18 homers, 57 RBIs, 231 average. Pitching, Logan Webb was 13-10, 3.47 ERA. Ryan Walker, 10-4, 1.91 ERA. He had 10 saves. Blake Snell, who we now know is with the Dodgers, he was 5-3 with a 3.12. And Camilo Doval, 5-3, 4.88 ERA, 23 saves.
Yeah.
So, they're losing an awful lot. I mean, they have one free agent, Mark Canha, who's been bounced around in the league for years. Good hitter, plays a good outfield. I don't know what they're going to do with him, whether he'll sign elsewhere, but it's getting to the end of the line here. Well, the best acquisition they got was Willie Adames from my team, the Brewers. He signs for 7 years, $182 million. Now, Willie is a sensational shortstop. He hits well for the Brewers. I don't know why he signed with the Giants, though. He could have gone anywhere. I mean, anyway, Justin Verlander, my future Hall of Famer, is going to sign a one-year deal. He's 40 years old now, or 41. I don't know if he's got one more year left in him. Subtractions, we know that Blake Snell is gone. Mike Conforto is gone to the Dodgers. Left-handed pitcher Taylor Rogers traded to the Reds. There isn't a lot to talk about here, Daniel. This is not a very good team. I like Adames, solidifying the lineup, but I just don't see them going anywhere.
Yeah, Willie Adames, like you said, him coming in and trying to help them in the world of offense and defense. You're hoping that does something, but losing Blake Snell to your division and bringing in Justin Verlander, who, like you said, continues to get up there in age and hasn't been really consistently out there for anybody. I mean, the name is good, but is it going to make up for the production? Probably not from the outside looking in, right? So, I mean, the Giants made some moves with Buster Posey, but are these moves going to, like you said, blow your skirt up? And, I mean, Blake Snell going to the Dodgers, having to face them multiple times in the season within the same division, doesn't bode well for San Francisco. And if Adames can do some good things offensively, well, then that's great. But as the Diamondbacks look to get better and shore up some holes, and the Padres try to get better and shore up some holes, and the Dodgers got better even though they just won a World Series, it's hard to see the Giants getting above the third position if they can do something there, but probably somewhere within the fourth to fifth of this division if they do what they need to do. So, I mean, Blake Snell being gone, Verlander coming in. Again, Verlander's a name. You hope he stays healthy. You hope he stays well. You hope that he provides for the rotation. But staying healthy and being out there, right? They say the best ability is availability, and he hasn't been available. So, I mean, I like the name, but, I mean, this name has bounced around Major League Baseball, and, you know, here he is on another team. So we'll see what happens, but I hope the best for Justin. I hope he gets to play, and I hope he plays well, and that the Giants do some good things, which brings us to our final team, the Rockies.
You know, this team was awful last year. Awful. Ezekiel Tobar led the team 26 homers, 78 RBIs, hit 269. Taglia, 25 homers, 55 RBIs, 218. Brian Doyle, 23 homers, 72 RBIs, 260 average. Ryan McMahon, 20 homers, 65 RBIs, 242. And this is a good hitting park, too. And these guys didn't hit good in a good park. Pitching, Dumber was 5-12. That's their leader, 5-12, 4.75 ERA. Yeah. Ryan Feather, 3-10 with a 4.49 ERA. Quantrill, 8-11, 4.98 ERA. Dakota Hudson, 2-12, 6.17 ERA. And Tyler Kinley, 6-1. He's a reliever with a 6.19 ERA, only 12 saves. This team is awful. I mean, and they're not going to get any better. They have one free agent, Daniel Bard, who's a right-hand pitcher. He's bounced around the league a few times. Don't know if he's going to resign by them or not. Notable acquisitions, we got Jacob Stalling, signs a one-year deal. Don't know much about Jacob. Kyle Farmer's a good pitcher, or infielder, one-year deal. Thiero Estrada is a one-year deal infielder. Scott Alexander, one-year deal, left-handed pitcher. There's just nothing there. Subtractions, Cal Quantrill is going to the Marlins, and Brendan Rodgers is going to the Astros. So we didn't think that San Francisco was good. And I didn't even want to talk about Colorado because they're so poor, but I had to include them because they're in the division. I mean, this team could very easily lose 120 games. That's how poor they are. And they play in a hitter-friendly park where the air is out there and dry, and a fly ball goes in the seats. So good luck with Colorado because they are nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the Colorado, like you said, the Colorado Rockies. I mean, this is a team where people talk about the air in Colorado. They talk about how it's different and the elevation and what that can do for you and so on and so forth. But we haven't seen it do much of anything for the Colorado Rockies. I mean, this team has they've struggled. They've had a rough go at it. And unfortunately, you know, they're in this division again with formidable teams and the reigning World Series champion, on top of the fact that you have these other teams like the Diamondbacks and like the Padres that are seeking to only get Colorado Rockies 94 in 2022, 74 and 97 in 2021. I mean, 26 and 34 in the COVID year, 71 and 91 in 2019. Their last winning season was in 2018, where they went 91 and 72 and lost in the NLDS. So, I mean, it's been a tough go for the Colorado Rockies. It's unfortunate for the Colorado Rockies to be in the place that they've been in. You know, statistically, when we look at what they did last year, you look at the fact that Jacob Stallings did some good things for them, had some moments. I mean, it's hard, like you said. I mean, what can you say? He had 36 RBIs. He had 9 home runs. He had 64 hits. You know, we look at Brendan Rodgers. I don't want to say Rodgers. Rodgers had 134 hits. He had 132 strikeouts, 31 base on balls, 267. is what he hit. I mean, you went over some things here that the team did. I mean, there's nothing to really write home about in what this team kind of brought together. They're a losing franchise right now. It's unfortunate where they sit at, and the hope is that the Colorado Rockies will get better. I mean, in their last 2 seasons, they have won a combined 120 games, and that's something the Dodgers do in almost a season. So the Rockies are going to have to figure this thing out. They're going to have to figure it out quick. And unfortunately, they're at the bottom of this and probably going to stay at the bottom of this division of the NL West in 2025. Is there anything that they've done in the offseason, PJ, that makes you think that they can maybe get a few more wins?
They can still try free agency, but there's not a lot of good players left out there. Most of the stars have already signed with teams. I don't know what kind of farm system they have. The draft is coming up. You typically don't draft a kid and put him into majors unless you're Paul Skynes from the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is a 3-team league, Daniel. This is the Rogers, Arizona, and the Giants, and the Padres. I mean, the Giants and the Colorado is just an afterthought. It's terrible, but when the 3 good teams play these 2 losing teams, there's no reason why they shouldn't take a series. They should take a series 3-4, 2-3, and things like that. They can't lose to teams like this if they're going to stay with the Dodgers.
Yeah. So a team that has been struggling over these last couple of years hopefully bounces their way back. The Colorado Rockies, people talk about how difficult it is to play there, and the elevation and the air is different, but the Rockies have not taken advantage of really many teams out there. They do steal some within their division, and they do play spoiler, so that's something to look out for as we get closer and closer to postseason in 2025. We'll take our final step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios with Papa Joe. We have dual things going on right now, so our special exclusive airing with Johnny Zamore has begun. That's on Facebook and YouTube, so we'll wrap this up after this fast break, and we'll send you right over to that, but some of you are already watching that. So some people said you couldn't be in 2 places at once. Well, thanks to God and technology, I am. We'll be back right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. You can find GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays from 10 to 5, they have hockey, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. For PJ, they have Jameis Winston cards. You never know what you're going to find at GG Cards and Breaks, from singles to the graded cards, and they have a whole new inventory of graded cards that came back from PSA. Definitely got to come check them out. Of course, their new arrivals boxes, and they're the only card shop that I know that has every MLB, every NBA, every NFL team, 92 franchises in their own boxes for you to look through and find something to take home. And if you want to test your luck, see what you can get in the packs and the boxes, you could buy those as well. And that inventory is constantly changing and evolving at GG Cards and Breaks. A fantastic place to be a big kid of any age. Go to GG Cards and Breaks. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring the people that you love. Get something nice for yourself and get something nice for somebody else. And tonight, GG Cards and Breaks is doing trade night. So buy, sell, and trade with people from Central and Upstate New York and those that traveled into our community. We'll see you at GG Cards and Breaks tonight, including myself. I'll see you at the store from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, Papa Joe and I have run through the National League West. We started with L.A. We went to L.A. first, gave you the Dodgers. Then we went to Arizona, gave you the Diamondbacks. From there, we went to San Diego, back to California, gave you the Padres. Then we stayed in California with the San Francisco Giants, and then went all the way to the middle of the country to bring you the Colorado Rockies. PJ, any final notes this morning as we analyze the NL West?
No, just people got to just remember what the Dodgers did last year and what they have this year. They have better pitching, they have more hitting, and they have Ohtani coming back on the mound. If Ohtani pitches so-so on the mound, he's still going to be an MVP candidate because he's going to hit 50 homers and drive 120 runs and steal 50 bases. So it's the Dodgers show, that's for sure. Frankly, it's the Dodgers game to lose.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes from here. I agree with you. Dodgers coming in with even more firepower. How does that even happen? But it is. Johnny Zamora, my special exclusive with him, coming from the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse and heading into an opportunity to be in a friendly match with a professional team in the USL Championship League with the Indy 11 going up against the Chicago Fire Reserves. Chicago Fire in the MLS. The Chicago Fire Reserves are in the MLS Next Pro. So don't miss a second of that special. And don't miss a second of what he has to say about Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. A lot of reasons why he has loved his experience, and it could help you make your decision to go to Bryan and Stratton for your athletic and academic needs as well. PJ, as always, I appreciate the time. Next week, we'll head to the NL Central, and we'll have some fun with that. And I look forward to talking with you soon. And as always, God bless to you, Miss Mary T., and of course, my big brother Joey and the whole family.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Hope you feel better.
Thank you. You too. Take care. That coming from Papa Joe here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. I cannot say enough to head over to our video that is now airing with Johnny Zamora in my exclusive special with Johnny. You don't want to miss a second of that conversation. And a big thanks to everybody that's been with us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, as well as Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser.com, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is go and search on any one of these. Just search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. We appreciate everyone who has done that, and many, many thanks to all of our supporters. Make sure to subscribe when you are on any one of these outlets. Subscribe and follow. So we can't thank you enough for that. Also want to give a special thanks from New York to North Carolina. The Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines is the one that is partnered here with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We send you down to North Carolina every time I cover the ACC, which is all year round. And, of course, you can get in touch with the ACC through all the work that we do here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And in that coverage of the ACC, which calls North Carolina home and Charlotte, North Carolina home, we have in Southern Pines, Brooklyn Pickle, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Do not miss the fantastic food that they have. Everything awaits you there at Southern Pines, right down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course there in Southern Pines, North Carolina. The Brooklyn Pickle. Make sure you go and see them today. Let them know that DT sent you. And, of course, many thanks to the wonderful team of partners in Central and Upstate New York. Great Lakes Honda City, our exclusive studio partner. Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Mother's Cupboard, Servomation, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A, Cicero, and, of course, Pizza Man, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Dolphins with us Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for Dolphin Time. Student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni joining me here in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. And, of course, you can swim over to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And when you do that, you will find student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni all in one place. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne playlist. And for the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com, you'll find them on the homepage as well as underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bobcats every single month where sports meets life, right here on Wake Up Call in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. You'll find student athletes, coaches, and administration with their stories, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, all here, including an all-new Bobcat takeover that we brought to you this month, featuring Brooke Parro, the new athletics director of Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. They have 2 locations, 2 campuses, one on James Street right up the road from downtown Syracuse, and the other you will find right across from Avicoli's off of Route 57 in Liverpool, New York. The Bobcats here with you on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Bryan and Stratton playlist, which is under BSC Syracuse for Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. They're also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday during Bearcat Time at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. Student athletes, coaches, and administration join me here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And all of your Bearcat specials are available on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And of course, you could find make sure you click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also find our Binghamton playlist so you never miss a broadcast again of Binghamton University on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this morning, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. Good morning to my mom. Good morning to Mr. Jerry and to everybody out there. Jerry said, I love your DT and PJ segments. I always look forward to them. Thank you, Jerry. These were conversations I was having with Papa Joe at the table down in St. Augustine. And I just thought to myself, we got something here, and I'm way too spoiled to have this and keep this all to myself. So I can just sit here and talk with Papa Joe, or I could share Papa Joe with the world. And I wanted to do that. I asked him if he would do that. It started with talking college football like one time. Then it was college football in the NFL. Then it was, let's do this Jaguars thing. Let's cover the entire NFL and the Jaguars. And let's do college football year round. Then we got into baseball and other things. And before you knew it, a couple of years, I can't even believe it's been a couple of years now, Papa Joe's been with me pretty much every single Thursday. And in a lot of ways, we do the takeover where he's with me for 2 hours on a Thursday for the entire Wake Up Call broadcast. So it all started with one show, one broadcast, one time. My vision was to do more, and PJ obliged me and agreed to do it. And I can't thank him enough for being a part of the show, and I can't thank the people enough for watching and listening and appreciating the conversations that I went from the dinner table and lunch table and breakfast table to the airwaves. So without Papa Joe, this isn't possible. And without your love and support, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you for that. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. You could see more when I sit down, because I could stand up, sit down, do a lot of things here in the studio. But you could see that we have many a thing. Everything in our studio has meaning here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, including that sign right there that my mom gave me that I have spent a lot of time thinking about. Hope makes the impossible possible. So, plenty of things to come, plenty impossible to achieve with the grace of God and the wonderful support of God and all of you and all of our wonderful partners here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Thank you so much. And of course, go and watch that special with Johnny Zamora, airing now on Facebook and YouTube, both.com/wakeupcalldt. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I bid you adieu and say, God bless, no stress, do your best.